Why do you think the blood started?
Oh, it was not. It ain't what I think. It's what I know. This is always going to be the most valid answer. It's to counteract what the Latino gangs were doing. They were kind of heavy on the oppression. You know, that Rikers Island mentality when it comes to the phone and all of that.
Yeah.
Commissary.
For people that don't know you, man, tell me your name, man. Where you from, bro?
Yes, OG Rucc, full trade gangster, Crip, gangsters moving. But I'm from Patterson Projects, 143rd Street and 3rd, Bronx, New York. You know the vibes.
Bronx, there you have it. I like that shirt, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. This is my slogan right here. There you have it. Like, if it's valid, that's what I'm going to tell you. Like, if you be like, yo, this is that and third, yo, listen to my music. It's fire. I'm be like, yeah, there you have it. That's valid.
All right. In 2009, bro, right? I was looking at the Incarcerated Scarface's DVD, right?
Wait, I'm going to C74. I'm 16, so I gotta go to C74. That's where they house the adolescents at and shit. And you know, adolescents is the niggas that wig out the most. Razors, bangers, and all this crazy shit. You know, it's a different feel. You know, I grew up in Sparford. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing for a little fight or nothing. But now you step into a whole new league where it's razors and bangers now. You know what I mean? And there's niggas that's out there, they just looking for a rep.
How did you get on that DVD? That's crazy.
That was from Troy Reed, right? That was his vision. He's from Patterson Projects. I'm from Patterson Projects. You have like most of the cats on there was from Patterson Projects, but I'm not going to say it was a Patterson Project thing because it was other people from the Bronx and Harlem and other places. But he reached out to the people that he knew that were incarcerated and was getting, you know, handling their handle. Like, you locked up. You know how it is. You go to the island. You got to be able to hold your own, stay on your own 2 feet. He reached out to the people that he knew did that and came home. And most of us been through the battles to the point that we actually ended up with scars. We've been battling for real. We had a lot of ops, and then we end up with our own scars. You give scars, you receive, and you receive scars.
That's
so
right.
He reached out to us and wanted to hear the story of, you know, whatever we went through.
I said, who do you think was the most feared Crip ever in Rikers Island?
Damn, what's old boy name? I never met this cuz. What's his name? It's crazy that I don't remember his name, but I know he had the crazy hurt though. And I think at one point in time, I think one of the blood dudes ended up stabbing him in the eye or something like that. That's what I heard. I never met him, wasn't around him, but these are the stories I heard. Inf. His name was Inf. Inf was kind of like, when I heard stories about a Crip that I never met, it was him. Like, he was with it. A lot of Crips wasn't really, you know, putting in pain like that or whatever the case may be. He was the first person when it came to me, because I've been Crip for so long. A lot of people come to me, yo, Rucc, this, that, and the third. You ever heard of this person? I don't know him. Nah, this dude named Inf. Yo, he putting in pain. He on the island. He got the hurt. And you know, this is like 9394 type of time where Bloods ran the whole thing. And he just rocking. It was probably past 9394 because I was on the island in 94. So it was probably a little later than that.
So in 94, describe Rikers Island. What you using for C74?
Yes, you know that.
Describe C74 and 94. C74 in 1994.
Crazy. That's the era of, you know, Taha was there, Karate was there.
My boys.
Yeah. Like, it was like dudes was doing everything.
Wild Bill was there.
You know, that's my bro. Tank. Yeah, everybody was there. Like, it was so.
What was that nigga name that Wild Bill used to be fighting with? I forget. It don't even matter. It'll come to me. Because I'll
tell you this though. In I was there. I got there March of 94, and you had the Latin Kings, Nietas, and La Familia going crazy still. Like, granted, Bloods didn't start their thing in 93, but still in 94, Latino gangs was still getting crazy.
And I don't think there was no Bloods in C74 yet.
They were, but they were still under other banners.
Was SI there at that time? You remember?
SI was there, yes.
Okay, yeah.
But a lot of them was still under other banners like God Body and Muslim and all that.
Yeah.
They was under all the other banners. They wasn't out putting it out there like that. They wasn't wearing the beads and all of that yet.
True story. I talked about La Familia before on the channel. I talked about how they got shut down in Green. Okay, now check it out. Go back to 1989, right? And tell me what it looked like in 1989, what your family life was like, and what was going on where you was at.
All right. So originally, I'm from Cortland. That's where I'm originally from. Cortland in the Bronx.
Ooh, wait.
Now, I wasn't down with all that, though. I ain't gonna hold you. I wasn't down with all that. I was a little dude, you know what I'm saying? So,
I think it was the Wild Cowboys back then.
Yeah, Wild Cow was out there. Yes, they definitely was there. They had everything on Smash. That's a whole entire fact. But, you know, as a kid, you grow up, you got family issues, you know what I'm saying? Pops on all type of drugs. Mom's across town somewhere. I don't get to see her. So I'm living with my father's sister. And she was like extra abusive. So at the end of the day, you know, as time winds out, you know.
Hold up. How many siblings do you have? Tell people. Yes.
Yeah, the math is like not my thing. So I got a number I just go to, so I don't have to count and figure out. 17 is my number.
Okay,
but
so
out of 17, only 5 are sisters. 5 sisters and the rest are brothers.
Tell me about the Low brothers, or what's all the Low names?
Oh, that's still math. That's crazy. All right, so I'm gonna go from the top to the bottom. It's gonna be C-Low, Rob Low, Ant Low. So I was Little Low. Then you had Mad Low, Low Down. Then you had Low Temp. You had my sister Key Low. My sister Lay Low. No, the reality is the streets was kind of cool. Like that's the era, you know, the block parties and the jams. So it was every day was like we just celebrating. Every day was a celebration. It wasn't crazy. Some people got shot, but it was here and there. You know, we lost a couple people, Mighty Mike, Reese, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like what it is now. You lose a couple people back then that you got incredible love for, and then, you know, years go by until you lose somebody else. However, I had people coming from other states, California, and I run into them and they like, you know, they throw up a couple hand signs and all that. You know what this means? And I'm from the Bronx, born and raised. I'm like, nah, I don't know what that is. So he like, yo, it's rolling 60. That's what we are. That's what he said. That's what we are. So I said, okay. So I jacked it. I say not authentic because I don't know his authenticity. I just jacked it.
What he
gave me he introduced me to it, gave me the whole culture, and I rock with it ever since. In between times, like I said, 89 wasn't that bad. So most of my projects was God Body. So I was God Body for a minute. I was with the 5% Nation. I had a neighbor. Say that again?
I didn't even know that.
No, this is what I'm saying. I can shock a lot of people with a lot of stuff. I say a lot, but because I told you, I don't want to expose that. I'm going to save this for later. I ain't going to say what I was about to say. Okay. But I'm going to keep going. So even after that, I had a neighbor who was Muslim. He was an Ansar Muslim. So we was going through our debates because, you know, I was 5%er. And he was like putting me on to the Islamic perspective. And I jacked that at, you know, an early age. So I was going to the with Imam Isa. I was going to the mosque in Bushwick with Imam Isa.
And so it's good.
Yeah, and you know, but at the same time, I got this Crip culture too. So I'm, you know, to most people, they be like, you live in a double life. Me, I'm a reasonable person. And I got my own way of seeing things. And I always say, like, what you do socially has nothing to do with what you do religiously unless it conflicts. And that's on you to, you know, to fix that up.
Mm-hmm. So, you know what? When I used to argue with you know, when fast forward, we're gonna get back to 89, right? But when I used to argue with you, remember I used to always argue with you about Muslims can't be Crips and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta think that even though I'm a couple years older than you, you was always like way more serious and seeing things a little bit differently and older than us. I think that even though like me, Kais, and a couple of others, you know what I'm saying, the youngest one was probably slick under you, but you was the younger brother. but you always was more serious and possessed a different form of knowledge. The first thing that you did when I used to argue with you about that is you gave me that book, Monster Cody.
Copy. Yes.
You gave me that book, and I read the whole entire book, like caught up in it, and then had questions because when you look at gangs, and when you don't think about gangs as gangs, you think about gang as gang banging, right? So when you say, you know what I mean, that was the first time ever, right? I think, and that might have opened up the doors for me to chill on how I was judgmental about blood dudes that used to be Muslim or Crip dudes that used to be Muslim at the same time. I used to be hardcore on them, telling them they couldn't do that. But I think that reading that book opened up the doors for me to understand the organization a different way. You was way ahead of your time at that point. So let's go back to 89.
But 89, it was no real history, no breakdown. And I tell dudes this day when I talk to other people, they run up to me, I want to be in your set or whatever the case may be, and they want to learn this history, this knowledge, and all this secret codes and everything. The reality is, the way it was brought to me is the way it is. It's like if you have a community that you live in and you are close to people in your community, y'all ride together. So he brought this to me. He didn't give me no secret knowledge, handshakes, and nothing like we Masons. He just told me the basics, like blue, gray, whatever the color is, that's the color. You know, we got a bunch of colors, blue, gray, purple, depending on which set you on. Some people got the gold, some people got the black, some people got the yellow, whatever your color. Our color was, at that time, it was, because it was neighborhood. So it was sky blue flags. We rocked bandanas, and we threw up C's, we threw up neighbors, and we did whatever we want to do because we was rolling 60. That's what he said we were.
So how you caught your bed, right? And what years was it? And tell me about that time.
All right, this all right, this gets a little crazy because I was just talking to my wife about this. But it actually begins because in 94, I ended up with 3 cases. I ended up going to court for 3 cases, getting sentenced and sent them north for 3 cases because I never understood. You know, like I told you, I was young. I was a young teen. I didn't know what ROR meant. I thought that meant you free, you just going home, you good. I didn't know that the case stay open.
Yeah, nah, case over. You know what I mean? We're gonna celebrate tonight.
Yeah, that whole shit. Get these bottles, we good. Smoke this weed. We're gonna be back to doing the same thing. I got away with everything.
I got RR, son. It's over. The case is over. They dropped it today.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Young and dumb. You know what I'm saying? So it begins in, I don't know, 91, 92. I go out with some people, right? I'm going to tell you what the story ended up. A 32-year-old man said, my 13, 14-year-old self, 120 pounds, 5'5", to his 32-year-old, 180 pounds, 6'1". I punched him in the face, knocked him out, and robbed him. That's what was presented to the court.
Okay.
The real story is I know who did it, because granted I was present, but I didn't do anything the whole night. I didn't do anything.
I got 2 of those.
Yeah, I know who did it. And the odd thing is, there's one person in the equation that's out the picture. Just feel me on that. They out the picture. And they told on 2 people. They told on 2 people who actually were involved, and the 2 people who actually were involved told on me. Said I did it. So that was my first case. You know, go to court. I ain't telling. That's not my vibe. Get the ROR. Come out. Next case. This is my older brother. He does some shit. Gets away. But I got to go back. It was at Dodge. It was something he did at Dodge. That was my high school at the time. Yeah. He gets away. I go back to school. They lock me up. Didn't do nothing. 1994 pulls up. Another situation. I don't do nothing. No, like the first time it was some snitch and shit. The second time is that the second time the person got away, I get blamed for it. The third time, we both get locked up. So I get a 3 to 9. I get a 3 to 9, a 1 1/3 to 4, a 1 1/3 to 4, ran concurrent. He gets a 3 1/3 and 6 2/3, some weird sounding bid. So we both get knocked. We ride the bid out. That's when I'm going up in 94. And, you know, I see you in 97.
All right, so 94 to 97. What's going on? What year did you go up north? You went up north and
I copped. Listen, young and dumb, copped out immediately. I got 3 cases, so I get my last case because before that I was going to Spofford.
All right, so what was your first jail that you went to up north?
Washington.
All right,
I go to Washington.
I was in Washington too.
Yeah, I don't meet a Crip at all. I meet a vice lord and a gangster disciple. A vice lord, a gangster disciple, and a blood. One of each. That's all I met. Everything else is Latin King and Attica.
Oh yeah. Yo, let me ask you something from your perspective. I hate to bring this up, but I just need to ask you, being that I got the time with you, right? Why do you think the blood started?
Oh, it was not. It ain't what I think. It's what I know. This is always going to be the most valid answer. It's to counteract what the Latino gangs were doing. They were kind of heavy on the oppression. You know, that Rikers Island mentality when it comes to the phone and all of that. Yeah. Commissary, whatever. You know, they was heavy on the oppression. If you wasn't Latino, they wasn't rocking with you. They were pressing the hell out you. So it was like people who were 5%, the same that they stayed under, the 5%ers, the Muslims, it was something else, the Nubians. Yeah, certain people in those communities come together, I guess, under OG Mac or whatever, how that played out with that dude.
The Black Gorilla family too, them niggas.
Yeah, BGF, yes, they was down there too. So certain people out of them groups come together and become blood. That's why, like I say, 5%ers. That's why you run to a blood. His name is Infant Majestic. They still got the 5% name, but they blood. You know what I'm saying?
I passed on from them gangs to Smoke to,
Smoke was down there too. Smoke was getting it on with the Latino gangs too.
You know what though? You know what? I'm like I think about it differently. I seen the same shit you seen, obviously, right? But I think that I felt it different than the average black dude because I was Muslim. So I felt like it's like hands off. You know what I mean?
No, I'm gonna say it's hands on because it's still the same effect though. It's still the same effect. Probably it's not going to be, the legal term on all fours. It's not going to be on all fours with a person like me when it comes to bloods, because it got to a point where once the Latinos was no longer an issue, the bloods became no oppressors. So here I come, I'm up north, I'm Crip. So the attack towards me becomes a little different than it would be towards you.
Oppression is worse than slaughter. So when you see something about to jump off, we normally gonna get on that nigga's side. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not even gonna see it transpire. The nigga that's robbing somebody, I'm gonna rob that nigga. The nigga that's doing something dirty, you know what I mean? We just gotta all leave. Why? Because we don't want to see that around us. You know what I mean? But I do understand what you're saying as far as like, the energy is gonna be different towards me than how it's gonna be with you, like with the Bloods. Well, like I feel like in the beginning, the Bloods, even though outside of the Bloods and Crips having this history, like on the West Coast, the Bloods then initially didn't have a reason to be mad at no Crips outside of the fact that y'all just Crips.
Exactly. They follow the theme of a movie or the theme of a book. I seen this in a movie. I seen this in a book. The book and movie said you my enemy, so now you my enemy. Whereas where the beef is at on the West Coast is that this person killed this person. So I'm mad at y'all because y'all people killed this person and we want to do something in return. I think the dude name was Fred or something like that. And it was over a jack. But it was valid because someone get murdered. It's hard to turn your back and say, all right, I want peace, even though you murdered my guy. So they had a valid reason for their beef, even though we wouldn't like it to continue, but it was valid. Someone got murdered. We want a wretched.
Cleaned up my act a bit, got a little religious, but the cops know about my past, so now they getting suspicious. Like, what is this? This kid doesn't like to be broke on the rival, and he's not wanna talk about Jesus, so he must got coke in that Bible. Not down for the idle conversing, which can cause bad things to worsen. You just get rivals for a fee. Thought I had about 5 G's per person. Don't wanna live so negatively, but I still got this devil in me. Incarcerated since I was a shorty, but like that story that never in me. Slicker than oil, but prone to spilling. Never felt that homeless feeling because hip hop is like a house, and I'm not only in and I own this building. I monitor monetarily speaking, but we can see how great that my handle is. Wanna steal my style, but you foul because you keep on reaching, but we can take it to wherever you feel you can take it to.